Hi guys, my name is Eric Harness and today I'll be showing you my favorite plan view tree technique using Chartpak AD Markers. This is my go-to tree that I use for it's like broadleaf evergreen, evergreen deciduous, anything. I just like the color. It has a really nice three-dimensionality to it and it really pops on your plans. So I guess we'll be starting by getting our trace paper. This is just standard 11-inch roll of trace. You can tape it down. I like to do it freehand. So I guess we'll go through the markers first, start from lightest to darkest. So our lightest color that we have here is Chartpak AD Markers Celery. And this is a really nice, it's almost used as a blender to kind of blend around the other ones without really staining the paper. And it's a very light green tone. That there. And then my favorite color by far, which I use not just for the trees but also a lot of understory, shrubs, grasses, anything that's green, I like it. It's a really kind of warm, just good solid light green, and it's chrome green. And this thing, I think if you're gonna buy any Chartpak AD markers, buy a couple of these, because I run through them like crazy. I think this one's drying out actually. And then my other favorite, that's a much darker tone, is my jade green. And this one it's very versatile as well. These kind of run in the same color family. They're kind of warm greens. And then what I like to do at the very edge of these trees is I like to add a really dark blue. This, for example, is a Prussian blue. It's got a little bit of green in it, so it blends well, but also has this really like vivid contrast, really pops your trees out. Then of course for your shadows, there's a few of them I like depending on what kind of drawing, what kind of plan you're doing. But lilac is a very rich, dark purple that works well. And of course for drafting, you always need some pencil for outlining things. So this will be used for outlining the tree. And then my favorite pen for drafting, sketching, all the above is the Pilot Razor Point 2. It's got this very nice felt tip, very fine tip pen, and this is my go-to. I used to use microns, but this has now become my favorite. And then if you have a drawing that has a lot of dark understory, and the trees aren't really popping, you can add in some white jelly roll. And this is a Uniball brand, but there's a few other ones that work really well. And those just add some nice flair and style to your drawings that isn't really necessary. So, and you also need, of course, your circle template, because drawing perfect circles is rather difficult. So, we're going to begin by choosing the tree size that you want. You want to line up these crosshairs on the circle template so you get the center of the tree. That's very important. If it's off by a little bit, you'll probably be able to tell. So we're going to start by using this pen to create the drawing. I usually like to bolden out my circle to create the width I like. So what I'm going to do here is just draw one of my favorite deciduous tree symbols. So what it is just a series of arcs which incrementally in size gets smaller towards the outside, so it's a fractal tree. So what you're going to start out doing is usually from the outside working in or the inside working out, you're going to do these arcs towards the center. And this will serve as your main, there's going to be 3 branches. This will serve as one of your main branches from the center. So it'll be like this triangle, you'll see. So yeah, add another one. And then from these branches, you're going to make smaller branches coming off of them. Like so. And just keep incrementally getting them smaller and smaller. This fractal form. So then you make another main branch. With smaller and smaller branches. Like so. one more. This will be the last one. You could do it with 4, but it tends to look better. Everything looks better in 3s. Naturally. Alright, so now we got this shape. The center here is a little messy, so we're going to clean it up. Really connect these lines and make them smooth, no jagged spots. Kind of make it look like it's a branching structure. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the whole thing, really contain it, so it feels like its own object. It's not falling out. Like right now it has all these holes. You really want to make this edge solid. So what you're going to do is make your own desired outline. I like this kind of jagged, leafy texture. With this symbol, I think it really works well. And there's the line. So before we apply markers, we want to decide which direction the sun will be shining in our drawing. And this is important to keep consistent throughout your entire plan rendering if you do one. So for this example, we're going to be choosing that the sun's going to be shining from the top left shining to the bottom right, and we're going to gradate accordingly. So when I begin, I usually start with my second to darkest pen, or my darkest one, which is the jade, the darkest green that I have. And what I'm going to do is make this crescent application here. You want to think about this as an orb to really make it three-dimensional. You have to render it so. Let's apply that one layer. Then we're going to apply the middle tone, which is the chrome green. And you want to go over it to blend it. And you can do these circular motions. As you see, it makes this really nice, even gradation. So I'm going to go a little bit further over, because I know the celery is going to really whack that down and lighten it up. So this one is the celery, and it's very light. Like I said, it serves as a blender of sorts. So if you're familiar with markers, there's the blender pen, which is just the solvent itself, and that spreads around the pigment. And I like to just kind of work it in there. You could add these stipples to make it more textured or not. And so what you see now is a very nice even gradation that makes it pop. So you can also add this very deep dark blue, the Prussian blue, towards this back edge here. What this does is it really makes it pop, especially when you have some understory below these trees. And you can already see it's almost serving as the shadow side of that tree. And it looks great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create the shadow for this tree. So you want to take the size that you have and go one size lower in the opposite direction from, or in the direction from which that arrow is pointing. Then you're just going to outline the area that is outside of the tree. So you want to offset this by maybe, it depends per your drawing, but not too far, because then you'll have the shadow covering too much. You just want it enough to make the tree pop. So maybe for this example, it's about 1/4 inch. And what you do with that is then you're just going to take your purple, your shadow color. I like purple because it really contrasts well with the green, complementary. Then you're just going to fill this in. You don't want to blend. You don't want to touch any of that green, because then it's going to make a mess. Because the reds and the purple are a complementary color to the greens, and they will not blend well. It'll just make a garbly mess. So here we have a nice tree symbol. And to go one step further, like I said before, if you have a really dark understory, so there's some dark shrubs, and the tree's not reading as well as you'd like, sometimes you can go through with these jelly rolls and really just pop these edges off, create that white highlight. This is more of like a stylization thing. It's very clean and graphic looking. I think it's a really nice touch to some drawings. Sometimes for my shadows I like to add an outline just to really hold it together. I notice that sometimes that makes it look a little bit cleaner. So yeah, that looks pretty good. So, hope you guys liked this tutorial on how to make what I consider candy trees with markers. And once again, the materials are the jade color for the Chartpak AD marker, the chrome green, celery, lilac for the shadows, and Prussian blue for that really dark highlight on the outside. And then Pilot Razor Point 2 for the pen, highly recommend it. And then a jelly roll, white jelly roll, any brand will work. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you don't follow me already, I'm on Instagram as Pangea Express. So yeah, have a good day, guys. Thank you.